And you know where I was holding the baseball bat? It was at the White House. Make America, Buy America, because I did a lot of Buy America things. And this is a company that makes baseball bats. Then they put next to that picture a picture of Alvin Bragg. I didn't do it. They did it. I guess the people that do the paper or somebody put pictures together, but I was holding a baseball bat in order to promote Made in America.
It wasn't on your post at Truth Social?
No. What they did is we posted the story, but they had a picture up, but they then put a picture up, or the picture was put up that nobody noticed or saw, or that nobody thought was bad. These were two separate pictures. I was promoting Made in America. You make these baseball bats instead of sending over to Japan and China and all other places where they're made. This was a company, good company, that makes baseball bats and other things like that in America. They took that picture from the White House and they put it up, and then they put a picture of Alvin Bragg up. I will say this with death and destruction. I didn't say death and destruction. I said, I'm afraid. Yeah. I said, I'm afraid that if they do this, which is a fake prosecution, where my worst enemies say that he's totally innocent.
What is he talking about? I mean, it's beggars belief how this guy ever got elected. This man is a moron. And it is becoming increasingly clear for everybody. I mean, most of us knew this already, but it's becoming increasingly clear for people that voted for him, for 70-odd million people who voted for him, where they're now starting to realize that maybe that wasn't such a good idea. And then trying to spin it so that the baseball bat, because it was made in America and because it was part of a White House event where he was celebrating a baseball bat company that was, American owned. I mean, that is really the very slimmest of defenses for anybody. You retweeted it, you endorsed it, and then you deleted it, which suggests to me that you did a bad thing. I didn't post it, somebody else posted it, but we didn't do it, always using we, because he likes to think that he's got this kind of army of people when obviously it's just him on Truth Social. He retweeted a picture of him with a baseball bat hitting Alvin Bragg over the head, a man who is currently seeking to prosecute him for, what could be multiple crimes now. The moronic behavior of this man baby, this former US president who is being reduced to excuses and stuttering and trying to kind of shift the narrative and purposely kind of over confuse the issue, when it's so clear what he's done, because everything that he does is in the public domain. If you retweet something or retruth something or quote truth something, even if he's deleting it, it still happened. He still did it with intent. The fact that he took down that picture is an admission of guilt, and yet he wants to just ignore that, brush that under the carpet. And he also wrote about death and destruction, again inciting violence, suggesting that, if he is prosecuted or indeed indicted, then there will be this kind of uprising of Trump supporters who will bring death and destruction upon who? Upon Alvin Bragg, upon all Democrats, upon the judiciary. I mean, who only knows? He is so desperate. He is running out of things to say. He is running out of excuses. I've never been able to compost before. I've been keeping food scraps in a bag, which doesn't smell very nice. And then I got a Lomi. Lomi allows me to turn my food scraps into dirt with the push of a button. Lomi is a countertop electric composter that turns scraps to dirt in under 4 hours. There's no smell when it runs and it's really quiet. And thanks to Lomi, I have way less garbage each week. That means it's not going to landfill and producing methane. Instead, I turn my waste into nutrient-rich dirt that I can feed to my plants. I feel so great knowing that I'm composting and creating soil instead of waste that I basically now have a limitless supply of dirt for my garden. If you want to start making a positive environmental impact or just make cleanup after dinner that much easier, Lomi is perfect for you. Head to lomi.com/weekend and use the promo code WEEKEND to get $50 off your Lomi. That's $50 off when you head to lomi.com/weekend and use promo code WEEKEND at checkout. Food waste is gross. Let Lomi save you a cold trip out to the garbage can. And what worries me the most is that he is so dangerous. He still continues to be so dangerous. Even Sean Hannity in that interview was distancing himself from Donald Trump. Laura Ingraham has been distancing herself from Donald Trump. These are people who have spent their recent careers putting him on a pedestal, taking this kind of small man with, no skills, no knowledge of the American political system, no knowledge of international trade, no knowledge of international diplomacy, like absolutely no skills, almost no brain, just self-obsession. They put this guy on a pedestal. They helped him to get elected, and now they are backtracking because they realize that he is a lame duck, that if Donald Trump runs for president in 2024, Republicans are 100% going to lose, because everybody now is beginning to realize, albeit 6 years too late, that the guy is an imbecile. And most people living in reality, most people who are not kind of wedded to the Donald Trump cult, knew from the very beginning, even before he got elected, what kind of a guy he was. And it's only now starting to dawn on MAGA Republicans that maybe their guy is not the kind of golden goose they thought he was. So watch this space. I would like to think that Alvin Bragg is going to take that baseball bat sequence and use that as yet another reason to indict this disgraced former president, because that in itself is so offensive. It has so many racist undertones. It's so inappropriate for a former president to reduce himself to the level of some anonymous Instagram meme maker, that he really now has exposed who he really is, a very sad, a very desperate, and a very dangerous former president, but current criminal. I'm Anthony Davis. You can hear me every day on the 5-Minute News podcast and on Sundays on the Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.meidastouch.com.